right. Hello. And here we are for Husky Hoops. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. With me currently, UConn women's legend, Western Connecticut State University head coach, Maria Conlon.
What's up?
Wow, that was a dramatic intro. You look like you were turned in the dark and then showed your face like you were being introduced on a sitcom.
You know what? I'm in my living room. We actually got some sun here today, so that's probably why.
So we had a few games last week, and I wanted to start off with the women, just basically the same as always. Sarah Strong dominated, 17 points. Blanca, again, she is getting better every week, every game, every minute. She had 16, and AZ struggled early on and ended up with 14 points as we decimated Seton Hall 92-52. We have a 43-game winning streak on Seton Hall, and it's just incredible to me. We're 21-0, 11-0 in the Big East, and we received 45 bench points. And this was a team that was fairly competitive in the Big East. I mean, they were 8-3 in the Big East and 14-6 overall. AZ shot just 5 for 23 from 3-point land, and she had started the game 4 for 4 from the field, and she didn't miss her first shot until there were 6 minutes left in the first half. And at that time, she was 3 for 4 beyond the arc. And then, like you talked about, Gino was able to rest AZ and Sarah for the entire fourth quarter. UConn, they were at 73-41. So it's just like I watch a little bit, and it literally looks to me like a high school team playing against a fifth or sixth grade team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's I mean, I say this every week about the women right now. I think really the only time we can
there's nothing else to look for.
Is maybe when they play Tennessee, but there's just no one in the Big East that I think can play with them at all. So I think we're just going to see that's going to be a common repeating thing for, I don't know, the end of time.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Also, that's why for some reason I sent it to the wrong email address.
Dial for Joe.
Okay. Yeah. So it really looks like a high school team, and it's not even playing against a JV team, a modified team, 7th and 8th grade freshman team. It literally looks like they're playing against 5th and 6th graders, and the depth that they have from top to bottom, like you said, like they could start every one of their backups, and I think they'd win the Big East. Like I don't know anyone who is going to come close in the conference to beating them, let alone coming within 20 points of them. Do you see anyone in that range?
No.
Who could it possibly be? There's nobody. Yeah, there's nobody. I was looking at it. There's like nobody.
No.
The only thing, I mean, Sarah Williams is the only one I kind of just haven't seen quite come around as of yet. Hey, Joe, sorry about that. I sent it to the wrong email address. I apologize.
What email address did you send it to?
Somebody else's. I sent it to another Joe. You're
Okay.
usually the first Joe that comes up, and I was wondering. And thankfully, I checked because I couldn't believe that I would do something so stupid, but I should learn to expect it by now. But yeah, I was looking at it, and I was just thinking, there is nobody in the conference that can give them any sort of competition. And my only minor concern was Sarah Williams. So I wanted your thoughts on that.
Are you talking to me or
Joe?
Still you, Maria.
Oh, still me. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not like. I think she's been fine. I don't know that I expected her to come in and like average 20 and 10.
Right.
So I'm kind of okay with the way she is. I mean, he's more athletic than some of the bigs, like, than El Afi.
Yeah, right,
and all that. Like,
right.
She gets up and down the floor, which I think is a huge thing. I don't think they need her to do a ton of scoring. I think she's been great defensively. I think she's doing what she needs to do, to be honest. I mean,
Right.
I know that when we hear, someone's transferring in from a different league or a different team, whatever, it's still, all those other teams are not UConn in the way that we do things and the way that we play. So I actually think she's adjusted pretty well. I think that the post player role at UConn is probably one of the harder ones to adjust to, because it's, we're not jamming it in back to basket all game like she was probably getting in the Big Ten.
Right.
So she's got to find different ways to score and play on the perimeter a little bit in terms of, screens, ghost screens, all that other stuff. But I think she's been fine.
So, Joe, we were talking about the women decimating Seton Hall, more of the same. Sarah Azzi played well. Azzi had a cold shooting streak for a while. But I was just saying to Maria, I watched part of it, and it looks like a high school team playing against 5th and 6th graders. It's not even like a JV team, 7th and 8th grade team. It literally looks like they're playing against 5th and 6th graders. And it just blows me away that they're obviously the best of the best. But I don't think that there's anyone that's going to give them competition, like you said, until March. Tennessee will come in, but that'll be it. And they're going to roll until March.
Maybe until April. Maybe until the Final Four.
I agree.
This isn't breaking news.
No.
That they're 100 times better than anybody in the conference. It's just a question of giving people minutes, fine-tuning games, working on specific things. But I got to be honest with you. I think the talk on the women's team is kind of wasted time, because there's really nothing. There's really nothing to talk about there. I mean, unless lightning strikes in a bottle, does anybody think they'll have a game where they don't win by at least 15 points, if not more? No, I don't think so.
That's what I said. I don't think there's anyone that will come within 20 points of them, let alone 10. It's just amazing to me. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And
obviously, Stevie. I mean, we want to talk about it because we want to give them their flowers. But, I think that to me, and I don't know what you think, Maria, I think the bright story of the year has been Quinones. I mean, I don't know what they expected. You're closer to the staff, obviously, than I am. But I don't know if they even expected to get this from her so soon.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I think I had mentioned maybe last week that Sydney Johnson, the Washington Mystics coach, he's a friend of mine. His daughter played for me. He came to my game 2 weekends ago, and we were talking about the UConn team, because obviously, he would love to get, any or all of that team right now. And he said that he went up, this is before we started playing games, and he went up to a practice, and Blanca was practicing and like whatever. And nobody had really heard about her yet,
Right.
And I guess he said I don't know if it was to Gino or Chris and said, "Who's that kid?" And they all were like, "Shh, like we're trying to keep it under wraps." So I think they knew how good she could be. I don't know that they knew that she would be this good this quickly, but in fairness, right? Like, it doesn't have to be the first option. She doesn't have to be the second option. So she can kind of fly underneath the radar right now and do what she's doing and get the reps and the minutes without people like 100%, gluing in on her. So she's kind of in the best case scenario for herself because even if they did know about her, what are you going to do? Who are you going to pick to guard or face guard or like towards Sarah, AZ, Blanca? Like it's just nuts. So I think that the curve was shortened, but I think they knew how good she could be. At least that's the vibe I get from Morgan.
I mean, the skill set is so unique.
Yeah, well, that's like Europe stuff,
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And you don't, you see more Europeans all the time. Jose Fernandez used to pepper his roster at USF with European players, which is why they usually gave UConn a pretty good run in the day. Never beat them, but gave them a good run. But yeah, I just think she's so unique, and I mean, she's made a terrific team even better if that's possible.
And I think like here's the way that I view European kids, and you're 18, you come to college as a freshman, but you've been playing in Europe for 6 years. From a basketball physicality and IQ standpoint, you're not 18. You're probably like 24.
Exactly. Well, same thing in hockey.
Yeah.
Same thing now, and they've done in hockey because they're allowing for the first time Canadian junior players to play in Division One college hockey.
Yeah.
And that's got a couple
new?
of those kids. What?
That's new. I thought they always allowed that.
No.
That's why the hockey kids when they came to UConn, they were already like 21, 22.
Right. Yeah. No, this is the 3 Canadian junior leagues: the Quebec League, the Ontario League, and the Western League. And these kids are just, are just a little more advanced than kids coming out of the like USHL or BCHL. Some of those leagues that have been feeder systems for college teams. It's like that with college basketball, and Quinones is certainly a prime example of somebody who's come in, as you said, Maria, and is mature beyond her years.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even mean like, you could even just tell the way she interacts is mature, but like the basketball IQ that you get at a younger age in Europe is so dramatically higher and more physical than what you experience in the US. Like you come as a freshman in the US, you've been playing EYBL ball for the last 3-4 years, unless you're playing with USA basketball. It's a little bit different, but like, you're playing 16-minute halves, running clock where there's no, it's street ball, but not even. It's not even as competitive or as physical as street ball. So I can't even say that. It's garbage ball. These kids are coming from playing against grown-ass women for 4 or 5 years and then coming to the States to play. It's totally different ballgame.
Yeah, and she's fit right in.
Yep.
So we did phenomenal last week with our viewership. We are in the thousands upon thousands of viewers. So thank you guys. Credit to you guys for building this show up into a powerhouse. We were looking at the viewership numbers and we were like, damn, we're getting somewhere. So we were happy to see that. Thank you, Joe. And thank you, Maria. Without your participation and expertise. I'm just garnish. I'm the garnish on the plate. That's what I like to say. But I got to watch both of the men's games this past week and last night. They defeated Providence 87-81. Great night, Gamble Pavilion. And I was happy because I got to see the big man play well. I'll say his name wrong again. Ryba. Damn,
Ryba.
just get it wrong. Yes, he came up big because he had been kind of out of it for a little while, but he got some playing time and he that paid off. But man, they just look so good. Terrace Reed looks so good, and I didn't know this. This winning streak is the third longest in team and program history, and they're off to their best start since 98-99, the first championship year. What were your thoughts on the Providence game, Joe?
Lucky to win.
Yeah,
lucky to win.
Yeah, it was close.
I would say it wasn't a great game by any stretch of the imagination. They shot horrifically. The kid Jameer Jones had Caravan on skates in the second half. Look, I love Alex Caravan as much as anybody. He's been a tremendous player. He's been a consummate team player. But if he can't guard Jameer Jones, who's he guarding in the NBA? Maria and I were talking about that last night, texting back and forth last night about that. And look, the much maligned by me, Malachi Smith, was as big a hero as Rybo. He picked up Braylon Mullins like Stewart and Ross couldn't. You know, I think we've seen what we need to see about Jalen Stewart, and probably Jaden Ross as well. And I don't think they're as deep a team as people want to make them out to be. Because
too streaky. Their bench is too streaky, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. And even Smith, you know, I mean, look, that was a performance that we've only seen a couple times this year. The most consistent guy off the bench has been Rybo. You know, and you look at the numbers for the center position last night: 33 points, 14 rebounds. You're not getting that from at center positions elsewhere. So that's what won the game for them. I mean, Demery was terrific as always. Solo ball. If they had mentioned his hand one more time on the hideous TNT broadcast, I was going to start taking shots every time they mentioned it. Enough already, please. I don't know where they get these analysts on some of these TNT games.
Joe, it was so bad last night. Even so they replayed the drive by the Providence point guard
by the Providence guy.
Right? They're so they don't even know what they're talking about because I forget who it was that went straight up and down, which that was good defense. But Caravan whacked him on the arm from behind on the drive, and that's what he was complaining about. They weren't even smart enough to point that out, which was clear as day.
Or the play, the baseline out of bounds play where they reversed the call. They ignored the fact that the kid got whacked three ways to Sunday.
How that wasn't a foul,
when it was holding the ball. You know, UConn fans want to piss and moan about the officials all the time. There are people in the Big East, including one writer who I have the most respect for, who talks about all the illegal screens that they set. I
saw Caravan set about 4 last night. He moved from the free throw line to almost mid-court trying to set the screen, and I'm like, clear as day.
Right. But you know what? Here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's all about wins. And they've got 20 of them or 19, whatever the hell it is now.
20,
yeah, they're 20-1. They know how to win. They know how to win these close games. But I mean, the coach didn't want people to nitpick on them because they're having such a good season. That's fine. That's his right to say so. But I think, the bottom line is that there's definite flaws in this team. I don't think they're as complete a team as people want to make them out to be.
No, and you're right. I mean, they beat Providence. It was, I think, 87-81. It was close, closer. But Providence has not had a particularly spectacular year.
Providence stinks. Let's just throw it out there. Providence stinks. Their coach, if they can scrape up enough money, Kim English won't be their coach once the season ends.
Right, you're right. Providence is a dumpster fire. I didn't want to say it that way, but yeah, they're very bad. And we went to overtime with them the first game, and this game was relatively close. And I think not having that ability to go as deep off the bench and get that consistency made a difference. It was great to see Smith play 30 minutes and have success and not dribble the ball all over the place.
He had that one possession. He had that one possession where it was the classic Malachi Smith dribble the ball and then not even be near the end of the half, and then not even be able to get a shot off.
I think he's trying to perform his own deflate gate on possessions. Let me see if I can just deflate some air out of this ball by dribbling it as many times as possible. Here's honestly like what I saw last night, and this is the first time in a couple of weeks where I've been able to watch the full game. Because I've caught bits and pieces and whatever. I still think, and Joe, I know I texted you a little bit during the game about this, like Reed has got to find a way. If he's going to leave his feet, he's got to do a better job of staying vertical, because we are dramatically better when he's in the game, and he's got to understand that. Trouble. If I'm Hurley, I'm saying, like, listen, if you got to give up 2 layups at the rim early on, I'd rather give up 4 points than have you on the bench for 10 minutes. It's just.
Well, and I think that's a reason he spent so much time in the first half on the bench, was because Hurley wasn't happy with him.
Well, that's my point, right? And I
wasn't pleased with him at all.
Reba he played great, but he can't, we need Reed in the game way more than, we saw when he got back in and was playing better towards the end of the second half. We're a different team. But I think that outside of that, we get beat off the dribble on the perimeter way too freaking easy. I mean, the Providence guards, and I don't know that that was a great matchup for us yesterday, and I think that's why it's been close both games. And the reason why I say that is they kind of play with 4 guards, sometimes 5 if the big kid isn't in, which is now forcing Caravan to guard somebody who's dramatically quicker than him. You had Providence's point guard who's he's way taller than our other guards, right? So he's going to get an edge from a vertical standpoint. And when these guys are getting beat and Reed's got to come over to help, that's where he's picking up his fouls. He's not picking up his fouls because of his own personal defense. He's picking up fouls on the help side, which to me is, again, try to get more vertical. Go study Emeka Okafor and how he used to stay vertical and block shots, right? And you got to tell your guards, they got to do a better job of keeping people in front of them, because that's where we get hurt, is when these guards get downhill and, our bigs have to rotate over to help. Solo ball, by the way, very confusing live in a game to realize if it's solo ball or Demary sometimes.
Yeah, right.
With the long dread and the ponytail, like twice, I'm like, oh, that was a great move. Solo ball finally did something. And then I was like, oh, no, wait, that wasn't him. You got to change up their hair. I'm like, it's very hard. And they both have single-digit numbers. Am I right?
Right, 1 and 2.
Yeah, so it's really hard. And you can't see their number because their ponytail's so long. So half the game, I thought Ball was playing great, and I realized it wasn't him. But, I think to Joe's point, like, listen, a win's a win. This is a tough stretch right now, like that end of January stretch, coming back from break, getting acquainted into classes is always like it's a
drag.
It's a drag. I was surprised Providence played as well at Gamble. It sounded like it was rocking there.
Well, $2 Miller Lite night.
Oh, there you go. Oh, man. But, hey, listen, a win's a win. I also will say, like I said to you that, I don't know if I said this to you, Joe, but like, I'm shocked Hurley doesn't get teed up more. He's dropping F-bombs clear as day at these refs.
I think
they're just used to, they're desensitized to it, probably.
Exactly. It's a perfect word, Murray. I think they've, unless he drops the 12-letter hyphenated
yes,
F-bomb or M-bomb, shall we say. I don't think, or he questions their abilities to their face. They just decide, you know what, this is who this guy is.
It's not worth it. Yeah,
He's not impacting the game by the sideline histrionics, other than get the crowd all fired up and stuff. So I think they've just become, as you said, desensitized to it. But yeah, I mean, there's been times that, the Seton Hall game where he got teed up by, or the Villanova game where he got teed up by his good buddy James Breeding.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that just it's some, there's always some officials. Gino's had them. Jim had them. There's always some officials who put the hair up on the back of your neck, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So this is what I was going to ask you, Joe. Obviously, they played Villanova Saturday, and they got the win in overtime. Solo Ball had a big day. He had the 24 points. Caravan had 17. And, Reed played, I think he had 10 points as well. I watched it. They look great, but again, the depth issue, I think, is going to be a factor, like you said. Do you think, first, before getting into the game, do you think there could have been some sort of a letdown from playing Villanova and then going to have Providence?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So I was completely wrong there.
No, I there shouldn't have been. They love playing on campus.
Yes.
So, why they realized what a tight game it was against Providence the first time in Providence. So if there was a letdown, shame on them.
Yeah. And
look, Providence should have beaten them the first time. Providence was up 13 in the second half, and they couldn't hold on.
Absolutely, they had them beat and they couldn't hold on. Do you think? Obviously, I kind of think it makes them. Obviously, they should win these games more easily, but going into overtime, overcoming some adversity shows that you're a little bit more battle tested as we get into the later March, April, into the tournament. Do you think that benefits them at all, that they're being challenged, or if they're just not playing as well?
No, I think it helps. I think everything builds, it builds upon the confidence level of being able to know that you can win a close game. The only way it becomes a negative is because if you're too overconfident that you can win a close game, and you let things get off the hook and stuff. But no, I don't think it's I don't perceive it as being that big of a negative. Again, it's all about the wins. It's not about style points. It's not synchronized swimming or Olympic figure skating. It's all about the getting wins. And
exactly,
I mean, they've got 20 and they've only lost one, and who knows what would have happened if Reed and Mullins were able to play in that Arizona game. They might be 21-0.
And Maria, I agree with you. I mean, I was looking through Reed's statistics for fouling. I mean, he's 3 to 4 to. I mean, he fouled out of this game. It's just
not even
a complete
amount,
difference.
It's the when, right? Like,
right.
You can't pick up 3 fouls in the first half, right? Because you got to. First of all, you pick up any coach with half a brain, which we know Hurley has. Your best big picks up 2 with 8 minutes.
They're out.
6 minutes left in the first half. They're out for the rest of the half, right? You can't risk them picking up that third typically before halftime, right? Because then they come out, if they get a quick one called in the beginning of the second half, they're out for the majority of the second half with no flow now, right? So
correct.
It's not even excuse me. It's not even the amount, it's the when.
Right.
The games where he picks up fouls early have been closer games for us, And
it's only been recently that he went through a stretch where he wasn't getting fouls. It's only the last 6 games where he's gotten 3 fouls or more. So
I bet you correlated that, Joe, and
Okay.
I don't know this 100% because I didn't break it down, but I guarantee you that those 6 games are games that had really shifty guards that got downhill on us. If I
the
had to
recent games, well, 2 against Providence,
Yep, there you
one
go.
against DePaul, one against Villanova, one against Seton Hall, one against Georgetown.
Seton Hall and Georgetown, yeah.
Yep. Well, there you go.
That's what I was looking at.
Because I don't think he has a hard time when he's guarding in the post.
No.
You know?
No.
It's when he's coming over and help side. So I think that, again, you got to plug that up top. See if you can, stop the bleeding of the guards getting into the lane and getting downhill. Because, even if he's helping and he helps, well, if you're not getting a good helper, now he's turning around and also trying to get his guy. So, there's a lot of, it's always not so black and white with that. It's easy for people maybe who don't know the game as well to say like, oh, this guy's always in foul trouble. I look at it and I say, well, he's in foul trouble because our guards can't keep people off the dribble.
Right.
So,
Maria, I know you got to jump off. I just wanted to get your thoughts tonight. The women play.
I knew you were gonna. You know what? I knew you were gonna ask me that, and I think we're gonna beat Xavier by 40. However, what I will say is, kudos to Xavier. They're 10-10. Billy is doing a great job out there, which I thought she would. I thought it would take her some time, but what did they have? Maybe 1 win. Her first year there, maybe 5 last year. So she's 10-10. Good for her. She's still going to lose by a 40 piece tonight. And then Tennessee, I still think that we beat them by over 20. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but there's that.
And then Joe is going to be watching you play tonight, correct?
I'm not. I had to change my mind because here's 2 reasons why. Number 1, I have no idea how it's plowed in Willimantic, but I would guarantee you it's not very well. And number 2, I would also guarantee that the parking lots at Eastern are not exactly bare pavement and just coming off the procedure, even though I feel great. I'm not interested in walking. I love you, Conlon. I love you like a sister.
Listen, all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
I totally
get
it.
In Barry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sure the streets are much
come up
better.
And then we'll go grab a beer after. We'll grab a $2 Miller Light at the
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go get
guys. I gotta hop off.
All right, see you,
guys. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Take care. So yeah, I was just I was looking at Reed's fouls, and I had asked you this before, and something Maria said. Do you think she is correct? Allow the layup. Don't take the foul. If it's going to cost you a foul or 2 here and there, I'd rather give up the points than lose you, because he's obviously,
especially in the first half.
Yes, he's obviously the lifeblood of this team now.
I would say discretion is the better part of valor as far as Reed is concerned with fouls and stuff. So, he. But look, I mean, when he's on the court, as good as Ryba's been, and Ryba's going to be great, as good as Ryba's been, Reed's the number 1 setter. And when Reed's on the court, they just play better.
Yeah, he's a difference maker in so many different ways. I was mildly concerned with their bench not being able to get much out of Stewart and Ross, and Stewart, who had been a starter, and obviously they when Mullins was healthy, he came in and he has been playing exceptionally well. It could be a big detriment to them down the stretch not having a deep bench or a few guys to go to. I mean, realistically, you need 8. Would you say when you get into March?
Yeah, I would say that's exactly it. And look, they're going to keep going. He's not going to pull off Stewart and Ross.
No,
they're going to get their minutes, and all you're looking for is a little consistency. But we've said that about both of them for 3 years now.
Yeah, no, exactly. Is it a situation? No, you wouldn't say that. But the win against Villanova, it goes into overtime. Everyone had talked about how great Villanova was, and they're obviously 6-3 in the Big East, 15-5 overall. What were your thoughts on the victory for them, going into overtime and beating Villanova in dramatic fashion, so to speak?
Well, I think it was an even tougher situation because last night you knew you didn't have Braylon Mullins. The
Right.
Villanova game, you lose him to an elbow that could have been reviewed for a flagrant one. It wasn't. Wasn't even a foul call at the time. I mean, he didn't. His face just didn't run into the Villanova kid's elbow. It's not the way
No,
that. It's not the
no, it
way that
didn't.
works. So I think that was an even bigger shock to the solar system. But Ball was great, and Caravan was great, and Demery's great every game. I think it's safe to say with him now. I mean, he does so much
He's come
for
around.
them. Yeah, he does so much for them. But again, you look at the numbers from that game, and the bench was a non-factor in
No, they did nothing.
that game. They got six bench points. Four guys off the bench shot 3 for 10. Ross was the only one to take a three. I mean, Smith didn't even take a three. Smith didn't even have an assist. I mean, there's times that
in
there's
6
times that your
minutes.
there's times that your best players, right, exactly, played 6 minutes in a 45-minute game. So that tells you everything. Now, last night, I thought it was a great piece of coaching.
Right.
Without Mullins to play Smith, especially after he hit that first three, to play him with Demery. I
Right.
thought that was great strategy, and not to stick with Stewart and Ross, who weren't getting the job done on the offensive end, and not even great on the defensive end. So
Right.
it's all we want to make grand, and I'm as guilty of this as anybody. We want to make grandiose statements about analyzing things from time to time.
Yeah, you want to have a hot take here and there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. But the bottom line is, every game is different. Every game is plays to its own beat, the beat of a different of a different rhythm. Last night it required some play that I don't know. You needed Smith to, and I loved the confidence he had. I mean, the one thing about Smith is he never lacks for confidence.
No, he does not.
Sometimes it's a detriment.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the kid doesn't lack for confidence, and I think that's what they need with this team.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
it's
that's a
good.
good, to use a baseball analogy. It's when Jazz Chisholm came to the Yankees. You need a guy like that to kind of stir the fire and be a lightning rod. You'd like them to be a little more consistent shooting the ball in his performance. But last night, if he doesn't play like that, they lose. And that's an awful loss. They lose
100%. 100%. And yeah, I mean, you were right about Smith. He had assists. He had, I think, double-digit scoring against Providence. He didn't do much against Villanova. But when he has his moments, he has his moments. My question has to do with Caravan. And I know you and Maria have said it's just Caravan being Caravan. He just seems inconsistent. You'll see him scoring and, being in the stat column and rebounds, assists, and doing many different things some games. Other games, like the Providence game, he only scored 8 points. So, I mean, is that just who he is? Is he always going to
Well,
be
I just think he does the same the thing. He does 90% of the things every game. He rebounds every game. He
Yeah.
assists every game. He plays his ass off every game. He's a great
Yeah.
leader. But the
Yeah.
shooting is inconsistent. I mean, 3 for
Very.
14 last night. That puts him that puts the team in danger if you got other guys that didn't score. And yet in the Villanova game, he didn't do squat for the first 30 minutes.
No.
But the last 15 minutes, he was as good as anybody on the floor. So
yeah,
I wonder if it's trying too hard on the offensive end. Maria texted this to me. It seems like some of those 3-pointers are a tad far out that he takes. You know,
very deep.
he's got
Yes.
Peyton Pritchard, I can make a 3 from anywhere mindset, which is great. But I don't, as we've said from day one, he's a great complimentary player.
Yes.
You never want him to be the number one guy.
And the fact that he hasn't had to be has been benefiting him very much. I wanted to ask you about the two situations quickly with the NCAA that are going on. The Baylor player who was, I believe, drafted and then in the G League and then played overseas. He got a waiver to come back and play college basketball, and he is now at Baylor. Alabama tries to bring in a kid who played in the G League. He was on a two-way NBA contract, but he never played in an NBA game. That got the litigation got moved because of the weather. It's going to be litigated February 10th. Do you think that when players declare for the draft, they give up their college eligibility and that's the end of the story? Doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what you do. You can't come back.
I would say if you step foot in a G League game, you can never play in a college game.
Yeah.
That would be the way I would put it. So it doesn't have anything to do with declaring for the draft, Steve. It's just if you play in the G League.
Well, I mean, he was drafted. I mean, he was drafted in 2020.
Right. If you play in the G League, you can't play in the NCAA. That would be my rule, clear and simple.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy that mid-season, which I didn't even think was legal back in the day, they could just find someone and bring them in from a G League team or from overseas who isn't playing and give them a spark. I mean, the kid from Baylor came in and is playing right away. Alabama is going to have their kid playing until it gets ruled on in court. I just think, and then the NCAA transfer portal is a whole nother issue both ways. But it's just like the NCAA used to have 45,000 investigations. I mean, Jim Harbaugh did a lot wrong, but I mean, he got technically suspended because he got a kid a sandwich on a visit during COVID. And it seems like now they are so afraid to do anything, any type of investigating, any type of discipline because of bad PR or they're going to get sued or this and that. And it's just like, they took Heisman trophies away. They took championships away. And now it's like they have no cojones, so to speak.
Right. That's a perfect way to put it. It's the wild, wild west out there as far as the NCAA is concerned. And, the days of college athletics being the way that they were are never coming back.
I know they're not. I just wanted to get your thoughts quickly on the Duke quarterback, Menza commits, they get a revenue sharing agreement, declares he's coming back. And then at the 11th hour, alerts Duke that he's going to be entering the transfer portal. And then Clemson, Dabo Sweeney, who I don't particularly love, same situation. They bring in a transfer from Cal. The kid is going to class, training with the team, got an apartment, car, everything. And Ole Miss keeps courting him. And he keeps they keep asking him, are you interested? Are you interested? The Clemson coaches. And he says, nope, I'm here. I'm good. Again, now he's at Ole Miss. So and Clemson was the first team to actually file tampering charges on another school. The NCAA has had schools complain, but they've never had schools actually file a tampering charge against another school. I just think, the transfer portal, is there any way for and you said this, you said it's going to take a major scandal for the NCAA to step in and do anything to regulate the transfer portal even more. And Sweeney brought up a few things that I thought were good to try to help it, where, you get one free transfer, the second transfer you have to sit out and so on. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on both situations.
Well, I think I applaud Duke for going after Mensa.
Yep.
He had a signed contract. Now, does it say in the contract he's going to be there till through 2026? Does it say that? We don't know. We don't know what the language of the contract is. The Clemson thing, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. That's what
Exactly.
that's what I would say about that one. And as far as the transfer portal as a whole, it's just, I mean, look at how many kids Coach Golden's brought into UConn. I mean, he's brought in an unbelievable number.
Candle brought in 64 kids, I think, overall. Yep.
Yeah, something that I think that counts the 7 high school kids who are coming
okay.
in.
Yes.
I think that, yeah. But I mean, look, the bottom line is that's you got to play. You play by the rules. I mean, we talk in college basketball. I mean, Shaka Smart doesn't believe in the transfer portal. Well, how's your year going this year, Coach? How's that working out? Right? You have to play by the rules. I mean, 57 transfer portal players for UConn, 7 freshmen. And I think that number will change as Coach Castle gets more ingrained with high schools in the area and in the state. Brought in 21 guys from Power 4 schools. That's great.
Which was good. Yes.
The quarterback from Tennessee.
Yep.
He's one. He brought in 3 quarterbacks. Two of them transfer portal guys. The kid who played the bowl game for Toledo, and then the kid from Merklinger from Tennessee. This Bo Polston kid is a 3-star recruit. You still got McDonald there. Have a chance. I mean, I think. Look. I think competition's good. I don't have any problem with competition. You play by the rules. You bring in as many guys as you can, and I think when I look at these guys here. I mean, the 2 quarterbacks he's brought in, both played for 2 years.
Yes.
The kid, the running back from West Virginia, who didn't seem to play a lot, was a JUCO in 2024, so he's had 1 year. Running back from Central Michigan, this is his 3rd school. Cornist also played at Tulane. Syracuse running back Jaden Hart. Didn't play a lot. So kid from Northwestern, kid from Oklahoma State. I mean, he's a couple kids from Syracuse. I'm sure Syracuse is thrilled about that. But that's
Syracuse has lost a lot.
As long as you play by the rules. I also thought it was funny that you mentioned that Dabo Sweeney is the first coach to actually call out tampering, because there was a coach who was at UConn who made a lot of noise.
Oh, he did,
about calling out people who were tampering, and then as soon as he went to Colorado State, he raided the cupboard at UConn.
Sure did.
I mean,
he took it there.
Can't have it both ways. I want to switch topics for a minute because
absolutely
you went kind of scorched earth on the former quarterback from UConn.
I did.
Who was playing? Yes. Now that game has not taken place yet, right?
No, the Shrine game is not taking place. It's I think it's this weekend.
But I saw video of Fagnano in a game. Did he play in another game before this?
The Hula Bowl, allegedly, but we couldn't find any stats on it.
But I saw a game where he was wearing a red shirt. Are you telling me he's not getting hit in these games? So what good is that?
Yeah, that's what I said. We have no idea we Dave and I both were researching the Hula Bowl. We saw Hanson. Hanson played in the Hula Bowl, and he also had a jersey on. I believe it was red or blue, but they had his height, weight, and everything listed. Vignano they did not have listed. So we're not sure if he played or not, but that was one of the bowls that they said he was going to play in. But you can't find any stats anywhere. I tried to watch it on CBS Sports, the network that carried it. They don't have it on demand. I don't know if it was played. It was the only reason it got any publicity because it was the Gruden brothers against each other. But the Shrine game is where Skylar Bell is playing. And,
well, that's over. The Shrine game got played last night.
Okay, so it did get played last night. Okay,
and in fact, on the NFL website, a draft analyst named Chad Reuter named 8 prospects who stood out, and then he mentioned honorable mention, and he mentioned Vignano in the honorable mention portion.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad he was named honorable mention.
You know, I mean, he named 3 quarterbacks in honorable mention, and he named the Iowa quarterback as one of the prospects who stood out in the game. So
the Senior Bowl was the top bowl for the prospects, and it's a poor quarterback class, and I will always go scorched earth on Vignano, and I just think he did the wrong thing. I think he could have stood up and been a leader. I think he quit and abandoned on his team. And I don't have respect for that. And neither do alumni and people who paid for him to be there. And just because he wasn't given as much money as Nick Evers, you do your job. You do your job. And they're mercenaries now. They're hired mercenaries. And I don't like the way the father spoke to me, telling me that Ty Simpson would have struggled at Maine. And Joe played phenomenal at Maine, and Ty Simpson could have never played in those conditions in Maine. I think that's called delusional. And the fact that they think he's a third-round draft pick is delusional.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's...
Listen, my father loved and cheered for me. He would have never said I'd be a third-round draft pick or anything like that.
Yeah. There's helicopter parents, and there's... you know,
you get 3-minute voicemails, so that's why
it's easy just to see the name and delete it. So
no, I know. We won't get into the picks now. Just your thoughts on the Super Bowl matchup.
Well, look, I was wrong this weekend. I took the Patriots for the first time, and they didn't cover. I took the Seahawks, and they didn't cover.
Yep.
I think it's an interesting matchup. I understand why the Seahawks are 4.5 or 5-point favorites. The quarterback matchup is fascinating. Sam Darnold was the guy who said he saw ghosts against the Patriots while he was with the Jets, but he matched Matthew Stafford toss for toss on Sunday. I will say this, and I flipped on this, Steve. I was with my texting back and forth with my 3 guys I always text with. And one of them said, this is why every stadium should have a dome. Because and my thought was, oh, it's football, you got to play. And then as the game deteriorated,
it was painful.
You're playing, there's so much on the line, and it's not the way that you've played all year.
Exactly. You can't do it.
Once they took the lead, they were perfectly content with running the ball every play and then punting because they knew
could have just taken a knee. Yeah.
And also, and another one of my friends said this, and it's so true. When did the NFL put in a rule that kicking in the field goal in the red zone was illegal?
It's all these analytics guys that tell these coaches to go for it on 4th down.
I understand it. I'm not an analytics guy. I'm not going to poo-poo analytics. I understand there's a place, but Jesus, Mary, and Talik, you've got a 7-0 lead.
You're on the road.
You've got no. I'm talking about the Broncos. You've got a 7-0 lead. You've got fourth and a long one. You've got a quarterback who hasn't been hit in 3 years. And it's not just the play call. Sucker, why not just run the ball? But the idea, make it 10-0. Make the Patriots had done nothing until that point.
Exactly.
Had done nothing. So I think both McVay and Peyton, who perceive themselves to be the smartest guy in the room 98% of the time, came up feathers.
They do. They do. No, I agree with you. That was a horrible decision. And I thought it was funny that Peyton fired his offensive coordinator a couple days later. I'm sure that wasn't his decision or his play call, but somebody's got to get thrown under the bus, and it was him. They should have absolutely taken the points. You're in the AFC Championship. You're playing with your third-string quarterback or second-string quarterback. A 10-0 lead is exactly what you need. It makes it a 2-score game. You can't pass that up. I know
bad weather was. Here's the thing.
You knew it was coming.
Bad weather was coming.
Yeah, exactly. You knew that it was going to be rough. Their kicker missed the 2 field goals. I think one in the first half, one in the second half. It was tough sledding.
Here's another thing, to interrupt you for a second. The idea that 50-yard field goals are a lead pipe cinch, I don't get that either. I mean, they talk about 50-yard field goals like they're kicking from 20 yards out. Well, that's not the case, kids.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, the expectations.
But I think the Super Bowl has the potential to be a blowout.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to depend on some factors, but it could be a blowout. I hope that it's not. Again, my feelings are with Sean McDermott. He gets fired over this when they had 5 turnovers. They should have won that game, and he loses his job. And Peyton is playing with their backup quarterback, and Vrabel in his first year. I feel maybe I like you. I'm not a Pats guy. I'm not a Robert.
No, I'm not either. But you know Brady, what?
I was happy for him.
The more I watch and hear of Vrabel, the more I come along to thinking he's really good.
I agree.
He's really, really good. And especially, and you can appreciate this from a player standpoint. He has to play. He holds them to a tough standard, but he has their back. There's no throwing the players under the bus.
Never. So we'll talk about that more next week and make our predictions. But it was good to see a good week for UConn basketball. Yep. And I was just checking to see who do we have.
They've got Creighton on Saturday in Creighton, which has normally been a tough place.
That's right.
Creighton got pantsed last night by 24 by Marquette.
That's right.
At Marquette.
That's right. They had the 2 weeks of back-to-back Saturday games. So we'll talk about that. But Joe, thank you as always.
Always a pleasure, my brother.
Joe D, the icon, the legendary voice of the Huskies, the best of the best. I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.